to respond or not respond? That is the question. Well, I'm finally going to respond because this video blew up during the last 3 weeks. It was at the very top of my YouTube feed, and it says, "The plugin scam exposed. Did you fall for it?" I watched the entire video, and I watched yesterday's follow-up video called EQ Differences Objectively Quantified, Zero Difference ? And, well, first of all, I want to say thank you, because this is a topic that I think should be addressed a little bit more often, and that is it worth it to buy a bunch of different EQ plugins? Is it worth it? Is there a sound difference? Well, that is debatable. Despite the quote-unquote evidence, one thing that was not brought up was the differences during an actual mix. But for me, I like the analog emulated plugins for a couple of reasons. Number one, workflow. I can quickly go through a plugin that is modeled on a hardware where there are select frequency spots and then do my boost and cuts just from that. I also like looking at pretty GUIs. That's a fact. Like this woman over here, for example. You know, why did they pick her to be the model? Right? Why is she the model? Because, you know, compared to Glenn Fricker and Yoda for that matter, you know, she's that I would rather look at that. I'm a man and I would rather look at that. Okay? But number two, for me, it's just like, you know, these guys, these engineers, especially Butterworth, especially Baxandale, they picked these frequency plots and these gain plots to be musical, quote unquote. Neve, he picked how his gain was boosted and cut, and Saul Walker of API fame, proportional Q. Now, proportional Q really has more to do with having a hardware undo button. A lot of people don't know that, and I tested it, and API hardware still has that undo capability. And I was pretty shocked by that. I was not expecting it to be that darn good, but surely enough, yeah, if you record with an API equalizer and you screw a setting up, you can actually reverse the damage. It's pretty darn cool. Anyway, Mr. AP Mastering, he didn't really expose anything brand new, because this plugin Q clone from Waves that a lot of people have forgotten about over the years, but I remember it because this was around the time I really started getting into audio engineering. Now, I've been recording audio for a very long time. When I was a little kid, I recorded to audio cassettes, and then I recorded to a computer. I made so many mistakes recording to a computer, then recording to a video camera, and got into audio mixers and better microphones, and you know, the list goes on. And you know, so I grew up learning this stuff and making mistakes. And one of the plugins I remember is QClone, and I actually finally bought this a couple years ago or 3 years ago, or whatever it was. I finally bought QClone, and you know, essentially what it does is you run this through a piece of hardware, and then it captures the hardware equalizer curve, and that's what AP Mastering was showing off, the curve. But the thing is, there's more than just the curve happening underneath the, you know, inside of the engine, as it were. There's phase shifts happening, there's distortion happening, you know, the famous API, what's it called? The API transformers, the Neve transformers, the Carnhills, the St. Ives, you know, the tube equalizers for that matter. So there's a bunch of different things going on. But I would never tell you guys, and I have never said this, you know, from the very beginning, I said, I do not want to be a product shill. You don't have to buy this stuff. Yes, if you want to use a digital equalizer, go right for it. But these are the tools I personally use to get the job done. And also, I know that there are brand new audio engineers getting into the game every single day. And people want to know, like, what is the best XYZ to use while mixing, while recording? And that's a question that I had, but when I was just getting started with all this. What is the best to use? What are the available options? Doesn't mean you have to buy every single one of them. Doesn't mean you have to use every single one of them, because even if they're free, and you delete the plugin, and then later on you want to recall a project years from now, and you got to reinstall the project. So yeah, there is absolutely a lot of merit to not using a bunch of plugins and to just sticking to a handful. I actually subscribe to that philosophy. But, here's a Q-Clone review from the year 2006. And as you can see, they say right at the top that Q-Clone was shown off at the year 2005 NAMM show. So showing EQ curves is really nothing new. And yeah, I am glad that he showed off polarity reverse testing, because that is pretty sound. I don't want to call it science, but it's something that you really should look into. But for me personally, I like to look at the pretty GUIs. I like to have the workflow, and I just get mixes done quicker by using analog emulated plugins. And that's the bottom line on that. Now, he was trying to sell a equalizer course, and people criticized him for that. And so I will just say, check out mastering.com's YouTube channel. They still have their 9.5 hour long equalizer course. Absolutely free. It's gotten 400,000 views, and I recommend it. It may be the only EQ video you need to watch, and it talks about all kinds of things. So, if he was just trying to sell an EQ course, well, it was really funny what some people were saying, but whatever. Hey, we all got to put food on the table, keep a roof above our heads. But at the end of the day, like, you threw a lot of software developers under the bus, and your video was not fully honest. So if I were him, this is what I would do is one last test. Number one, test plugins that have saturation, analog saturation built in. Number two, let's see how a digital EQ that is curve matched compares in an entire mix. Because I do personally believe that when you combine, something that was mixed with a Pultec EQ, with something that was mixed with an API, with a Neve, with a Trident, with a Helios, with a Harrison, with, the list goes on. You have to combine all those tracks for the cumulative effect, the stacking as it were, and see how it goes from there. That would be the ultimate test. The before and after with a full mix. How does it sound? With compressors going on, with reverb, all that stuff. That would be the ultimate sound quality test. But, it is what it is. Like I said, guys, if you want to limit yourself, go right ahead. In fact, I recommend it from a productivity standpoint for recalls later on. But I personally like to use a lot of different EQs, compressors, reverb. Well, reverb's a little bit more limited, but delay, all the basics. I like to use a decent variety of them, and sometimes I just get bored with old plugins. So, Anyway, thank you all for watching. Check out AP Mastering. I think this guy is going to be doing some good videos in the future. It's a channel worth watching. He's already almost at 3,000 subscribers, which is cool. I'm subscribed, as you can see. But, yeah. Good stuff. Thank you all for watching. This has been Adam for RealHomeRecording.com.